Known for its rolling hills and abundant spring wildflowers, Texas Hill Country has become a destination for those expecting something more than just the old stereotype of heat, dust, cows, or cowboys. Located west of Austin in central Texas, it's often considered the border between the American Southeast and Southwest. But unlike the regions to the east and west, much of Texas Hill Country was settled in the 19th century by Germans, with over 7,000 emigrating to Texas between 1843 and 1847. For years, these remote agricultural communities remained isolated from other metropolitan areas, and Texas German even became the predominant language, a dialect that was unique to this region. In the 20th century, this area was known for its farms and fields of wildflowers, and today you can still find both, even in the same location. If you drive to the north side of Highway 290, there are hundreds of acres of flowers planted in orderly rows, part of the nation's largest working wildflower farm. But these aren't just a roadside attraction. They are grown to produce wildflower seeds that can then be bought and planted wherever someone wants a very colorful expression of Texas Hill Country. John Thomas, the founder of Wild Seed Farms, has developed tools and techniques to maximize production in these fields, a process that starts with planting in the fall.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
So what do we have here?
We have a drill seeder that we're going to plant in rows the Texas state flower, the bluebonnet. And we're going to plant a production field of that today. And the seed looks like a little pebbles, as you can see.
Like little gravel.
So what we're going to do is this back wheel turns, the seed comes through this opening, through the double disc openers here, and we have a depth control, so the seed just lays into the ground.
Now you built this yourself?
Yes, yes.
And how long you been doing this?
I've been doing it 56 years.
And you're gonna keep on doing it?
You bet. We love to grow it, and we love to see people enjoying our flowers. Peter, you ready to plant some bluebonnet seed today?
How big is this field again?
Just get in a tractor.
Just get in the tractor.
This will be my first time seeding a wildflower field.
All right.
So John is riding along to give me a few pointers.
Okay, Peter.
Here we go.
Then comes the moment of truth.
Okay, you're gonna ease the clutch off. It's gonna go forward.
Oh!
It's a bumpy start, but from here, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, keep going.
We just go right
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah, just right down the middle. You're doing great.
And we gotta go all the way to the end, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a big field. That'll probably take about 2 days to plant this, so I'll bring you some lunch.
It'll take several weeks of lunches to plant all the fields in John's farm, but it'll be worth it. In the spring, these rows of dirt are transformed into beautiful Texas bluebonnets, and every acre will produce about 300 pounds of seed, 20 times what we'll plant today. Hill Country has another cash crop that you might not expect to find in Texas: grapes. Viticulture is relatively new here and was introduced to this region in the 1970s by Doc McPherson. And today, his son John continues the family tradition as Carter Creek Winery's master winemaker.
My father was a chemistry professor at Texas Tech University, and wine research was a hobby of his, and the more he got into it, the more he pursued grape growing.
It might be a surprise to discover there are over 500 wineries across the state, with the highest concentration here in Texas Hill Country. Many visitors make the trip to taste the wide variety of local wines. But after I farmed the dusty fields, I was more interested in a beverage that reflected the German heritage of this area. And Carter Creek's head brewer, Justin Zimmerman, is about to create a fresh batch. It's a process that begins in this small cinder block building outside the brewery.
Hey man,
Hey, Peter.
so what do we have here?
This is our grain room. This is where all the dry ingredients stay for making beer.
And you grind in here.
I grind in here. We mill. This is my malt mill.
Just this.
Just this.
Wow. So
Yep.
what's this?
This is a dextrin malt. It's from Germany. It's called Carafone. This is extra pale premium Pilsner malt, also from Germany.
And this over here?
This one is two-row pale malt from Wisconsin.
Now we're talking, because
Yeah.
originally this had to be from Germany.
Had to be.
Oh yeah. All right, so how do we get started?
Well, we have to mill it, we have to crush it. So, I'll do the heavy lifting.
Lucky for me, as we'll have to grind
Whoa.
440 pounds of malt to make 238 gallons of beer. But we'll need to do more than just dump malt into the mill.
The more we can mix here, the better we mix there.
And I seem to have a talent for it.
Pretty good at this, Peter.
Sort of therapeutic.
Yeah. Last one.
All right, I know it's going down here, but then where does it go?
It goes up through this auger, and then we go inside to the brew house.
In contrast to the grain room, the brew house is filled with modern technology,
So this is it.
stainless steel fermenters, and a computer-controlled brewing system. But the process here starts in a very low-tech way.
We're about to drop our grain.
Just by
Our
pulling
malt.
that?
Just by pulling that. Okay.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yep. We're kind of lucky today because we have a mash mixer. We don't have to use a big oar. All in the old days, a lot of people have to do that.
This is automatic.
That's how I learned. I had to do it the hard way. We wait for 1 hour.
With this high-tech system, you just have to close the lid and wait for the mash to rest for about 60 minutes, and then boil for another 90 minutes. Once the hops are added, the brew is then pumped into the fermenter.
And then once it goes in, we're done?
Almost, almost. The yeast has to do its thing.
So when can I taste this?
About 6 weeks.
Story of my life.
Beer, wine, and wildflowers all take patience and skill to produce, as well as plenty of water. Although Texas Hill Country may be dry at times, it sits on ancient limestone bedrock that formed one of the most productive aquifers in the United States. This porous rock acts like a sponge, trapping rainfall that is used to irrigate crops, and then creates hidden gems that most travelers miss. Down near Boerne, Texas, far from the main road, is a national natural landmark, but from the outside, it doesn't look like much. Inside, there's a gift shop with lots of tourist trinkets, but these certainly aren't hidden gems from Texas. The real find is outside and around the corner, where landowner Tom Summers Jr. has been taking visitors down into the cave without a name for almost 30 years. Discovered less than a century ago, the enormous limestone caverns are an amazing and unexpected sight to see.
Whoa,
But you also need to watch your step.
it's a little slippery. Hello, sir.
Hi there, welcome to the cave.
Your cave. Amazing. How far back does this go?
The main body is about a quarter of a mile long, and then upstream it branches out. It's been surveyed over 3 miles.
Have you gone through all of it?
No, that's for real cavers, not me.
But there's plenty to see, even if you're not a real caver, including a formation known as Cave Bacon. And if you time it right, this happens about twice a week. There's an amazing acoustic experience as Tom invites local musicians to perform in an expansive cavern known as the Queen's Throne Room. Tom claims that owning this cave isn't about the money from visitors. It's about preserving and sharing the natural beauty that's hidden here.
Thank you. I got the echo too.
However, the original owners had a more profitable use for this cave during Prohibition.
Well, actually they had a moonshine operation about halfway down the stairwells.
It was a hideout.
Well, no, they were just manufacturing a product that was in demand by the locals.
Which was illegal.
Well, not out here. Yeah, in the country out here.
Things have certainly changed since then. The bootleg stills, long gone. The cave opened to the public way back in 1938. But now, Hill Country is also home to the first legal distillery of bourbon whiskey in Texas. Founded by Dan and Nancy Garrison nearly 2 decades ago, the distillery also has the largest rickhouse in Texas for aging bourbon whiskey, nearly 12,000 barrels of it. But their business started with only one small barn and a bold mission.
Not only are we going to make bourbon, but we're going to make the highest quality, finest tasting bourbon whiskey in the world, and I don't give a damn how much it costs to do it.
Although the start of the process for making whiskey and beer is similar, the time from mash to bottle is much different. A good bourbon can take more than 4 years to properly age in a charred oak barrel. So it would be a long time before Dan and Nancy knew if they'd succeeded.
But you know, it was a dream. It was an opportunity to do something really special.
They collaborated with master distiller Donis Todd, who learned to distill spirits as a kid with his grandfather. And then they waited. And a few years later, they tasted their first batch. Luckily for me, I won't have to wait that long, as Donis always tests some of their aged barrels. And I'm here to give him a hand. My timing was perfect.
So what are we doing today?
Would you like to try some bourbon?
Sure, always.
All right. So we got a drill here.
I'm drilling for bourbon?
That's right. So what you're gonna do, Peter, is you're gonna run a hole right here.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Why are you laughing? You ready?
Yes, sir.
Oh!
All right, here, I'll take the glass for you. You mind holding that?
Okay.
All right, save some for me, all right?
Wait a minute, what am I supposed to, oh, I see.
All right, so I'm gonna put a little plug right in here.
You came equipped.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is this? What is this?
That's Texas straight bourbon whiskey.
How strong is this?
That's gonna be about 136, 138 proof.
That's jet fuel.
It's a flavor bomb, I promise you. Little sips.
No kidding. Whew. That's strong.
Yeah?
I mean, it tastes great. I'm tasting a little bit of vanilla too, right?
Yeah, the sweet notes are really coming through right on the front.
So, what do we do with it now?
Well, if you like it, I'm a big fan of it. I say we go bottle it up.
It's ready?
It's ready.
Bottling happens over by the still house. But first, we had to dump the contents of the barrel through a filter.
Whoa.
To catch any charred wood, that washes out. Then the steel tank, with all that bourbon whiskey, is connected to an automated bottler, and it becomes a small assembly line of hooking up empty bottles and then taking full bottles away.
What it's gonna do, it's gonna kick right off at 750.
Whoa. Hold on. Let me just lick that off.
There you go.
There are some perks.
I like bottling.
Next comes corking, which is more of a manual operation.
Perfect.
All right, here we go.
But the real artistry comes at the end, when each bottle is sealed with wax.
Perfect. Now we're gonna pull it straight back out.
So every bottle is hand dipped by me.
And we usually round up some help, but you're all I got today, so flip it over.
Usually I'm not too big on unpaid labor, but in this case, I might consider it.
All right, now you forgot one final step. I'm leaving.
Donis and the Garrison's hard work have certainly put the community of High, Texas on the map. But it was President Lyndon B. Johnson who first introduced High to the world. LBJ frequently brought officials and diplomats to his nearby family ranch, which became known as the Texas White House. And he swore in the Postmaster General at his local post office here. The Johnson family ranch is now a national park and a museum. But the High Post Office is still being used by the locals, including Patrick Watson, a descendant of its original founder.
Well, my great-grandfather started here in 1880, and his name was Hiram Brown, and he spelled his nickname H-Y-E, which is Gaelic for blessed. So in 1886, he applied for the post office, and that's how I got the name High. I used to come in the front door there and get a candy bar or Coke after school in the evenings, and it always meant a lot to me because this is family to me. This was family history and heritage.
High's post office and store was part of the local fabric in the 1900s, but the real community centers were the old Texas ice houses. They weren't fancy, but the locals loved to gather there for food, drink, music, and dancing. Today, only a few of the original ice houses remain, and they're not always easy to spot. Along State Highway 16 in Pecan Grove, you'll find an old gas station built by Lawrence Segner in 1957. But Segner didn't just pump gas here. He also served food and had weekend dances in the grove behind it. After Segner passed, the Pecan Grove store was abandoned. But over the last decade, the historic ice house has been restored to its former glory by one of its loyal customers, Rick Martin.
Welcome to Pecan Grove.
So how long have you been coming here?
I started drinking beer here in '78.
Was this the way it looked?
Pretty much. When I bought the place from the Lawrence Segdon family 10 years ago, a lot of the things were missing. But I promised the family that I would restore it back to its original character. And we've come pretty close.
And so what's over here?
These are the original shelves. Back when Lawrence expanded the service station into a store, you know, he used to sell canned goods and motor oil and candy for the kids, and we kind of keep that tradition alive.
And then you got the accordion up there?
Yes, Lawrence played the accordion, the original owner. He used to have oompa dances out in the beer garden.
Oh, really?
And we still have music on each weekend. And
What's this?
that's our containment area for our dinosaur meat.
Oh, stop. You do not have dinosaur meat.
We make Dino burgers.
Oh, the old Sinclair gas station.
Sure.
They may not be dinosaur meat, but the dino burgers are a tasty holdover from the old beer garden's singular ambiance.
Oh, my God.
Well, I ain't in the mood for ham and eggs.
So it's local beer, local burgers, local music.
But there's a hard way to a blues man's heart, and it's give me cornbread.
And a lot of noisy cars going by
A
on the
lot
highway.
of cars.
But most of them going by here don't even know you're here.
No. Sooner or later they stop because they see all the cars. And what's going on? And they stop and then they come back and they come back. We treat them like family.